Hello, everybody. If you're watching this video, that means you're interested in starting a student organization on campus. So just as a preface, this process outlined in this video is for organizations under the Interclub Council umbrella only. For any organizations you want to start that fall under the Sports Club Council and Multicultural Greek Council, please contact Timothy Collins at tcollins@csumb.edu or adowell@csumb.edu. Additionally, starting an organization is not an instant process. This is just a reminder that it does take time and energy, and no one is going to start an organization for you, so you might as well do it. So the general outline for starting a student organization is in these following steps. So step 1 is coming up with an idea. Step 2 is reviewing the RSO requirements. Step 3 is working on completing RSO requirements. Step 4 is meeting with the current ICC Chair. Step 5 is filling out the new RSO registration form. And step 6 is completing the Officer I-Learn training and verification.
So the first step is to come up with an idea. So to begin starting an organization, you need to brainstorm the idea of the organization that you want to start. So what is the purpose of the organization and what you hope to achieve? Also, it is important to check if there is already a similar organization that exists on campus. You can check the list of active organizations on the CSUMB club directory. It is also important to ask yourself whether you can commit the time and energy to starting an organization. The process of starting a registered student organization takes about a month, and the registration can only be done during the months of November and April. Also, you should check what organization your club is going to fit into, such as the Interclub Council, the Sports Club Council, or the Multicultural Greek Council. The Interclub Council covers the organizations that fall into affinity groups, which have social, cultural, religious, or political backgrounds. Also academic groups, which are honor societies, major specific groups, and career pathways, or just special interests such as service groups, leadership development, or just hobby groups. Our advisor for this council is Dan Bernfield, and his email is below. The Sports Club Council covers competitive sports, recreational sports, and instructional sports. The advisor is Tim Collins, and his email is also below. And finally, the Multicultural Greek Council covers fraternities and sororities. Their advisor is Marco Dowell, and his email is also there.
Moving on to step number 2, it's reviewing the RSO requirements. So you need to have a minimum of 5 enrolled CSUMB students to be part of your organization. You need to create an organization constitution. Your organization also has to have the following officers. You're going to need a president, either a vice president, a co-president, or a public relations officer, a treasurer, and a secretary. The officer requirements are that you must have a 2.3 current and cumulative GPA. You must also find a club advisor, which is someone who works for the state, not a campus auxiliary, like someone who works in housing, OSU, or dining services. And step number 3 is to work on completing the RSO requirements. So you need to find students that are interested in starting your organization. Keep in mind these 2 questions. Do these students have the same vision as you? And do they have the time and the energy? If you're having a hard time finding members, here's a few recruitment strategies that you can use. You can use targeted emails, like contact groups on campus that share your focus. For example, colleges and departments, existing organizations, and specific classes. Word of mouth is also very impactful, so don't be afraid to speak to others. Ask your professor to make an announcement into class. And social media. You can have a social media presence. You can post on the CSUMB class Facebook pages, and you can tag CSUMB groups on Instagram. You can also do tabling events.
Continuing on with step 3 is drafting a constitution. So the constitution clearly states your shared vision and your purpose of your organization. and it sets the policies and practices for your organization. So some common elements of a constitution include the name of the organization, the purpose, the authority, membership, officers, selection of officers, meetings, advisor or advisors if you have multiple, committees, finances, discipline, and amendments. Overall, your organization has the authority over what your constitution looks like, but you do have to have a non-discrimination statement in the membership section. If you are interested in looking at a constitution template, there is one linked right there. And the last part of step 3 is finding a club advisor, and the club advisor is someone who is either relevant or interested in the purpose of your organization. Overall, advisors can be an educator, a mentor, a team builder, a conflict mediator, a reflective agent, a motivator, a policy interpreter, or a follower. And the requirements for advisors are that someone who works for the state, not a different campus department, so someone who works for housing, OSU, or dining services, and they have to complete advisor training. And the advisor agreement worksheet is linked right there.
So step 4 is to meet with the current ICC chair. This meeting will be about 30 minutes long, and to set up a meeting, you would just email icc@csumb.edu. The topics covered in this meeting are just a review of the completed requirements and talking about the goals and purpose of your organization. Individuals required at this meeting are the club advisor and the president of the new organization. Any other officers are welcome to attend, but are optional. Step 5 is to fill out the new organization registration form. Once you meet with the ICC chair, you'll receive a link to a form to register. Make sure to have your new constitution ready and your club members' names and emails. Step 6 is to complete the officer training and verification. All 4 required officers are required to complete iLearn training. This is a self-enrolled course for officers to complete, and they provide a general overview of policies and procedures of student organizations and any relevant policies from the campus specific to student organizations. Additionally, an in-person training is required for at least 2 officers. These trainings are provided at the beginning of each semester and consist of a refresher of the general policy and procedures outlined in the iLearn training and council-specific policy and procedures and updates. Additionally, an officer eligibility verification will occur in June and January. Any officers that are ineligible will be contacted and will be asked to be replaced with an officer that is eligible. So if you have any questions about starting a student organization under the ICC umbrella, feel free to email icc@csumb.edu.